Hello and welcome to Chesapeake Weekly. Well, February is Heart Month, and really what better way to care for our hearts than by petting a puppy dog. So Chesapeake Animal Services and the fire department have teamed up to bring some adoptable puppy dogs over to some fire stations once a month, providing really great therapy for the firefighters and a great opportunity to get out and about for the dogs.
This is Peppermint Patty. She's 6 years old. She is available at the shelter, so she's very calm and quiet and has very soft ears. This is the Chesapeake Animal Shelter partnership with Chesapeake Fire Department, and we're doing the firehouse field trips for the shelter dogs. The first Wednesday of each month, we take one of the dogs from the shelter and we take them out to visit the fire stations, and they get to go to the offices and visit people in the offices just to de-stress a little bit for the dog and get them out into the community, and it also helps de-stress our firefighters from the calls that they have each day. I actually saw it on social media for one of the other fire departments and got the idea to try it to see if we could do that, because who doesn't like a dog, and who doesn't want to have a dog in the fire station, as you can see. Eventually I will go to all of the stations. Today we've been to the public safety building and visited the dispatchers, we visited the city call center, and we visited training today. And then we've been to one other station, and we have one more to go after this. And then we'll go to the community risk reduction and fire administration building.
And what better way to finish up that story but then by telling you literally the very next day, Peppermint Patty was adopted. So she is now enjoying her forever home, and she got to get out and play with all the firefighters. The firefighters certainly enjoyed getting to take a break and play with Peppermint Patty, and it all ended exactly how we ever could have planned, with Peppermint Patty getting adopted the very next day. If you're interested in finding an animal to enter your home, you can follow Chesapeake Animal Services on Facebook. Well, perhaps, a more doctor-approved way to care for your heart is, of course, to get moving. And here in Chesapeake, there are so many ways to do that thanks to our Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Department. From trails and outdoor playgrounds, outdoor exercise equipment, and of course, all of our great community centers that have really excellent gyms that you can join for a very, very reasonable price. So Parks, Recreation, and Tourism, Sarah Somoski brings us inside one of the many gyms we have available here in the city at our community centers. Take a look.
Hey everybody, so we are at Dr. Clarence B. Cuppy Community Center right now, and we are standing in the fitness room. I'm here with Lyle Jones, who actually works at South Norfolk Community Center. And there's a lot of great opportunities for you to find your fitness in 2020, starting right here in this room. It's open for ages 15 with a guardian and up to 18 and older without a guardian. So there's a lot of great opportunities here. Lyle's going to kind of walk us through a little bit of what you can find in the fitness centers at all 8 of our community centers here in Chesapeake.
Right here, you see we have 2 bicycles right now that they are using. This is really a low impact exercise to burn calories and another way to get fit. Next up, we have our 2 ellipticals, as you see. Another high intense type of cardio workout that you can do.
So if you're just starting out from scratch, you haven't had a workout routine in a while, what would you recommend you start out on? I
will start off on the bike. After I build up on the bike, I will come to the elliptical. It gives you a little bit of the bike and it gives you a little bit of the treadmill mixed into one.
Okay, and if cardio is not your thing, or you've already gotten your cardio workout in and you want to move on to the next step, what do you recommend? A universal machine?
You said it best. I feel like the next best thing is our universal machine. The universal machine hits from top to bottom. What I mean by top to bottom, right here, you have your bench press here. You can incline it, decline it, and also you can do your shoulder workouts on it. As we come over here, you can do your abdominal work, your back workout, and your chest workout. And basically your pull-ups as well. As we come around here, you have your leg workout where we can do our leg press and calf extensions as well. As we continue to go around, we have our pull down machine that focuses on the back. And you can pull down this way, or if you want to have a little bit more challenge, we can come back behind the back. As we walk around, we have a leg and a bicep, tricep, shoulders, and trapeze workout where we have the cords around where we can hook up different pieces to the equipment to do arm extensions, leg extensions, curls, shoulder workouts, and tricep workouts. Right here we have a hamstring curl machine. We want to target the hamstrings individually. And last but not least, we have our leg extension machine. So with this equipment, you can target all in one whole workout going around.
And we also have a whole suite of free weights out here as well. We have exercise balls, stretching areas. What else is something great that we have here in the fitness room?
If you really want to intensify your workout and focus on the chest, a bench workout. So that's a unique way if you want to target the bench and lift heavier weights. We do have the plates for it. But we always want to also tell you, make sure you be safe and secure. And if you have a person that can spot you, we suggest a spotter. You can get up to about 300 pounds if you want to. Far as the free weights, we have from 5 pounds all the way up to 60 pounds of free weights.
Great. So you can gain access to these fitness rooms. They are available at all 8 of our community centers here in Chesapeake. And all you need to get is a 1-year membership, which is incredibly affordable. It's only $35 for an adult, and it's free for our 55 and better community as long as you're a Chesapeake resident. For Parks, Recreation, and Tourism, I'm Sarah Samosky. Thank you, Lyle.
Hey.
We'll see you around.
Thank you, Sarah. And like she mentioned, it's very cheap to gain membership into our community centers. So definitely look into it, and you can find all about that on the Parks, Recreation, and Tourism web pages at cityofchesapeake.net/PRT. Now, believe it or not, February is actually also a great month to get outside and get working in your garden. February, before all the regrowth starts, is a great time for pruning. One of the plants that's very popular in this area is, of course, hydrangea. And now's a great time to be pruning that hydrangea. But for all the tips and tricks on how to do that correctly, here's Mike Andrzejczyk from the Virginia Cooperative Extension.
I'm Mike Andrzejczyk with Virginia Cooperative Extension, and today we're going to talk about hydrangea pruning. Now, you can prune hydrangeas in 2 main seasons, the summer when they're in bloom, or in the dormant season in winter. So today they're just finishing bloom, which is fine, and we can go ahead and make 2 cuts. We're going to look for the branches or the stems that have already bloomed, okay? Those are the ones you're going to remove because typical macrophylla or big leaf hydrangeas bloom on last year's growth, okay? So this bloomed this year. Next year there are little side branches where it could bloom from, but that's not going to be very attractive. This is what we're going to save. There's brand new shoots that have lots of energy stored in them for a nice big bloom for next year, okay? So what we're going to do is, again, go all the way down, find these branches that bloomed, and go all the way down to the base of the plant. So we're gonna cut it off as close to the ground as possible, and we'll bring out that branch, and now you can see the side branches, okay? So all of these little side branches could bloom, but they're going to have little clusters, so we don't need that. And this will help open up the plant for airflow so that you don't get leaf spot diseases later in the season, okay? So if you haven't pruned them in a while, you may have some branches that are pretty unbranched and have flower clusters on, and you might want to leave those and just snip off the flower head above a leaf, okay? And then leave that on the ground or take that to your compost pile. But you may also find branches like this one that didn't get pruned in previous years and have new shoots with no flowers showing. And you might want to just trim out 1 or 2 of those just to thin it out to again allow more airflow through this. This plant looks really good. You don't see any leaf spot on it, but by the end of the growing season, if this gets more and more dense and we have lots of rain from a hurricane or lots of rainstorms, you'll get leaf spot on there. And because it's so dense, the humidity stays, and that's very favorable for fungal growth. Okay, but basically you can thin out as much as you want. Anything that has branches, I usually take out completely from my plant, and that way it leaves room for new growth to come right from the base of the plant and fill in those gaps for next the following year's flowering season. There are other types of hydrangeas that bloom on new growth, like this tree hydrangea, Hydrangea paniculata, or oak leaf hydrangea, which you might be familiar with as well. And they typically have these more conical or pointy inflorescences. And all you have to do with these is prune them off right above a leaf. So again, that new growth will come and you'll get flowering all over the plant. If you really wanted to get this plant back in shape, say a branch fell on it or whatnot, you could actually take your chainsaw or handsaw and cut the plant all the way to the ground and start it over, and it would still bloom for you the same year.
And we really have tons of gardening tips from Mike and other experts, and we hope that you'll check them out, especially if you're thinking about expanding on your garden this spring. Now really is the time to start getting prepared. So you can find all of those videos on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Chesapeake Television. And if you're looking for additional help and guidance for some plants coming up this year, or maybe just some inspiration, not only will the Agriculture Department help you out, but our libraries will of course help you out. And they'll even give you a head start with some seeds. So this year there's a brand new event and it's called the Seed Festival.
Mark your calendar and start this growing season at Chesapeake Public Library's first annual Seed Festival. Meet a garden expert, get free seeds, taste the harvest, help your little one develop a green thumb. Let's be about that plant life.
And the libraries actually have a ton of seed-related resources for you. I know they might not be the place you would first think to go for your gardening expertise, but Major Hilliard Library has a seed library where you can actually go there and pick out 3 different varieties of seed packets. They've got veggies, herbs, flowers, all sorts of things to choose from. And they have put a ton of links to resources at chesapeakelibrary.org/seed library. So check that out. And of course, all of the many, many books that they have available to help you be the best gardener that you can be this upcoming year. And now, while we're talking about all things green, let's take a minute to listen to this month's environmental tip from the Chesapeake Environmental Improvement Council.
I'm Heather Barlow with the Chesapeake Environmental Improvement Council, and this is February's environmental tip. Scoop the poop. Show the earth some love by cleaning up after your pet.
For more environmental tips and programs throughout the city, visit cityofchesapeake.net/CEIC. Well, the Chesapeake Forum has announced its 2022 lineup, and it does not disappoint. The Forum made its debut in early 2020 before the world fell apart. So this is just the second season of speakers, but there's a really fantastic lineup. So here's who you can look forward to seeing at the Chesapeake Forum this year. Dave Barry is a Pulitzer Prize winning writer. He's a professional humorist with a syndicated newspaper column and 30 fiction and nonfiction books. There was even a CBS sitcom in the 90s based off of his writing. Dave Barry will be in town on March 22nd. Dr. Freeman Hrabowski is the president of the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. He was named one of the 100 most influential people in the world by Time magazine. He's led the university to being ranked in the top 10 most innovative national universities, and he's the winner of numerous awards, including the American Council on Education's Lifetime Achievement Award. Dr. Hrabowski will be in town on April 26th. And finally, the one and only Joan London will be here. London hosted Good Morning America for almost 2 decades. She's an author of numerous books and a national spokesperson for A Place for Mom, the American Red Cross, MAD, and the American Heart Association, just to name a few. As a breast cancer survivor, she's an advocate for family and women's health and wellness. Joan London will be in town on June 7th. To get tickets and for more information on the Chesapeake Forum, just visit thechesapeakeforum.org. And before we go, just a quick heads up that there was a rabid raccoon found in the city over in the Oak Grove area just last week. So it's a good reminder. We are actually in the middle of raccoon mating season, so you might be seeing them out and about a bit more. The Chesapeake Health Department is warning that this could mean more cases to come of rabies because, of course, we know raccoons are a large carrier of that disease. Now, if you spot an animal that's acting odd, having difficulty swallowing, has poor balance, or is paralyzed, or is having seizures, it could have rabies. So stay far away from it. Keep all your pets away from it. Call the police non-emergency line at 382-6161 so that animal control can respond. And remember to keep all of your pets up to date on their vaccinations. Well, that's all we've got for this week. We'll leave you now with an update on what's coming up for Parks and Rec this week, and everyone have a great one. We'll see you next week.